What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hustleology show with Musa Ali, coming at you again with another episode. And today, we got a real special episode. Today, we're going to be interviewing the bad boy of the dating game, Mr. Locario. If you listen to the Tariq Nasheed podcast, the Tariq Elite radio show, you're very familiar with Mr. Locario, man. He's really one of the forerunners in the dating and relationship niche, and he's going to be talking about dating and entrepreneurship, and because this is a subject that people don't really talk about, and it really for a lot of entrepreneurs, their romantic life and their relationships kind of fall by the wayside, so to speak, because you're so focused on hustling and getting to the bag that you don't really develop. You're developing a relationship with your business and your customer, and developing a relationship with a significant other is sometimes elusive. So he's going to be talking about the different dynamics of a relationship when it comes to, when you're doing business and different things like that. And he's talking about interracial relationships and just all types of stuff in regards to relationships. Very fun episode, very interesting. So without further ado, here's my interview with Mr. Locario. Yeah, Mr. Locario, what's going on, man?
I'm chilling. What's up with you?
Hey, man, I can't call it, man. Hey, man, just grinding, man.
I feel you.
Yeah, just on the grind of a different kind, my brother.
I feel you.
Yeah, man, it's good having you on, man. Of course, man, we, I listen to Tariq's show all the time, man. So we so used to hearing your advertisement on the
on the
Tariq
show. Yeah, I had to keep it going on there.
Yeah, the bad boy of the dating game. So
that's what's up, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. The pleasure's ours, man. Yeah, yes, indeed, man. We, man, you kind of been that go-to guy, man. Tariq, man, he's been, for the last 4 or 5 years, man, he's been doing this thing with Hidden Colors, man, and you've been our go-to guy as far as relationships is concerned, man. You kind of, taking over that lane or whatnot, man.
I appreciate it, man, for real.
Yeah. So tell everybody who you are, what you do, man, and who is Mr. Locario, man.
Yeah, so basically, I'm a dating and life coach, so I help people find out what they want in their dating lives, help them figure out what they want to accomplish, things they want to do. I help men and women, both. So I just pretty much guide people in a direction to get the, best situations out of their dating lives and stuff like that. So I really try to keep it, more realistic, you understand, than I think a lot of people do, because a lot of times, when you talk about relationships and dating and stuff like that, a lot of people talk about it in a way where they're talking about stuff that sounds idealistic, right. But, in real life, in reality, things don't actually play out, exactly. That perfectly. You feel what I'm saying? So I try to keep it as realistic as we can so that you can actually get help in real life. You know what I mean? So
right.
Try to keep it,
Yeah, because you do, man. I see your Facebook statuses, man, and you keep it all the way 100, man. And some people, man, it rubs them, it could rub them the wrong way, but it's reality, man. And unfortunately, man, when a lot of us are, in relationships, man, we have this fantasy that we have of, men and women. So, it's definitely good to the hurt. What you say, it may hurt, but it doesn't hurt as much as you being in a relationship and the person that you think you love or that you love, man, hurting you, or whatnot. So yeah, most definitely, man. I definitely understand what you're saying, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, man. Since this is the Hustleology show and we deal with entrepreneurship and success, a lot of times, we don't really tackle the subject of entrepreneurship and relationships. Tell us about that. Like, if you're a hustler out there, a man, or let's just start with the men. Let's say you're a hustler out there. You have your own business. You're doing your thing. Should you wait to your business is established in order to develop a relationship with somebody, or do you think it's healthy to, have a relationship while you're doing your business?
You don't necessarily need to wait. What I would say though is that you need to make sure that there's some balance within your life. So, you focus on the business, first and foremost. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And make sure that whoever you're dating isn't taken away from your business, meaning, and that doesn't necessarily mean directly taken away. It could also mean, just on a like emotional, spiritual level. If you're dealing with somebody who, you're around and you sort of like they're stressing you out or they're bringing drama, that is going to affect your business, because then you're going to, you're not going to be focused enough. You're not going to have that type of energy you need to, make your business go through. You understand? So the person that you're dealing with doesn't necessarily need to help you with the business, but they can't take away from it. Right. And the thing is, if they do help, then that's a bonus. But, there's a balance that sort of has to be there. Right. But the thing is that when you're handling your business, you need to make sure that you're always on point with that. Like that has to always come first. That's top priority, to the point where if the person that you're dealing with, that you're in a relationship with, if they are, becoming too much or it's getting in the way, then you're going to have to drop them. Right. And, find somebody else who's, better suited for that. Yeah. You understand? But you don't necessarily need to wait until you get your business established or wait until things are popping off to get a relationship. Because the thing is, a lot of times, especially when you are first starting out and you're really trying to get things going, it could take years for things to really pop off the way you really want it to go. And even when you get to that point, you're gonna probably want things to even be bigger. Right. So your business is probably, depending on your goals, it's always gonna keep going. So it's like if you wait, you're gonna be waiting forever. You understand? Right. Before you make something happen. So
well, now what I mean by I should say, it's the difference. I mean, like a relationship is one thing where you have like a commitment with somebody, like
right.
That's one thing. But like a lot of entrepreneurs may have like a side piece. They may have friends with benefits, like
right.
And that's a totally different thing. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs choose to do. Just somebody that they can just have sex with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like as right. opposed to somebody that they have to feel like they're obligated to do certain things on a daily basis. Like
right.
Like why is that?
Well, I mean, doing it that way is actually it's a little bit more easier, because in that regard, it's sort of like, hey, I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you when I have some time. And, you can sort of schedule that in, as part of your day. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that for my business. And then, on Saturday, night, after I'm finished all this stuff, I'm going to go see so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it's like that thing where, you probably just see her once a week and you're good. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry too much or spend too much time and energy to deal with, because if you have a girlfriend or a wife, that's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother thing. But like you were saying, I would say for a lot of guys out there, it's probably more beneficial for you to do it that way, meaning, just have, a fuck buddy or, a side chick and just do that right. and focus on your business. You know, right, you understand? Right, right. And then later on, if she becomes like, if you see that she's a cool chick, let's say y'all, start developing feelings and all that, then you can worry about all that stuff later. But right now, I say just stick to, the side piece joints. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, because that's, I mean, I'm married, but I mean, back when I was in the game or whatnot, like, and I was in college and doing different things, as far as my career was concerned, man, that was always like that was always like my MO. Like, I didn't want any strings attached, so to speak, man.
Right.
I was always wanted to be a free agent. So, yeah. So, but you see people now, man, like a lot of guys, man, they real thirsty, man, to have relationships and different things like that, man. And, I especially these young guys, I'm like, man, that might not be what you want, player. I mean,
right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's a touchy subject, man. But, as far as, man, like, you got guys out there, man, who have the means to do this and do that, man. But you like right now, you have this thing going around the internet where they say, well, the guy should pay this and the guy should pay that, and like how should men feel about that? Like, what's your take on that, man? Like, men footing the bill for for everything? In what circumstance is it okay, and in what circumstance is it not okay?
Right. I think the thing is, what's hard about this situation is that, in society where it's like you're expected, because you're the man, you're expected to pay. So if you take a girl out on a date, it's expected that you're supposed to buy this or pay for that and everything else. You understand?
Right.
But the thing is that, and since that is, an expectation, what happens is you're going to come across most women who, if you decided, hey, I'm just not going to pay, or I want you to pay for your half and everything like that, they're going to look at you sideways, and then that can sort of, make it sort of awkward from the beginning. You understand?
Right.
So a lot of times what I tell guys to do is, because I have a program on my Bad Boy membership, it's called How to Spend $10 or Less on Dates.
Okay.
So what I do is, like, for especially first dates and second dates or whatever, I tell guys, do something real cheap where if, you're spending like $10 on her. And on top of that, what you do is, while you're on the date, because I did a video about this the other day, while you're on the date, you sort of set it up to where you see if she's going to put in something, or you sort of orchestrate it to where you're trying to get her to put in something. So, for example, like I when I go to a bar with a girl, I'll meet her at the bar, and I'll say, hey, look, I'm gonna get the first round. You feel what I mean?
Okay.
So at that point, like, I'm not even telling her to get it, but it's implied that you're going to get the second round. So it's like you're kind of, putting her in a position to see if she's going to put something in to the situation. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And especially if you're a guy who's, an entrepreneur about your business or whatever, you don't have a lot of time and money just to be spending on, multiple women like that. You understand? And I feel like at a certain point, like, let's say if a girl becomes your girlfriend, or a girl that you've been seeing for a while or whatever like that, it's nothing to take her out and take her to a nice dinner, do this and do that, and do that type of stuff. But I feel like a woman has to earn that type of treatment. Like, you're not going to do that for some girl you just met yesterday and y'all are on a date today and you spending like this amount of money. That makes no sense. You feel what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how you and her going to vibe. So
right. Right. Yeah, it makes total sense, man. And what I see now too, man, is you see it with a lot of simps. A lot of simps nowadays, they really like, they think that every woman deserves to be treated like a queen. And what's your take on that, man? Because I really disagree with that, man.
No, I disagree with it too. Well, the thing is, the reason why they think that is because it's how they've been brought up and how they've been conditioned to see women. You understand? And the thing is that in every situation that you're in, generally there's going to be, this give and take. Like, there's not this thing where someone's just entitled to things just because. You understand? It's like, you can get something, but what are you giving in return?
Right.
You see what I mean? And a lot of guys don't notice that with dating, because when it comes to dating, from the front end, the guy is usually doing most of the work. Like, he approaches a girl, he talks to her, he gets her number, he, usually texts her, call her, he plans the date, and then he goes on a date, and then he's paying for everything. You understand? So it's like, what is she doing in this interaction, on her end? And so a lot of guys have been conditioned to think that the woman doesn't really have to do anything but just sit there and look pretty. And so that sets up a dynamic where this guy, he looks at women, or he interacts with women in a way where that's reality for him. You understand? That's like, oh, this is just how it is, and this is how I'm supposed to treat women, and all women are queens, and they're perfect, and they could do no wrong. And then this also sets up guys to get played, and to, and for all this other nonsense for them to happen to them, because they've seen women in this light. And then, they're putting them on a pedestal, and then they end up getting played because the woman just like, okay, this guy's a sucker.
Right.
This other stuff. You feel me? It's terrible,
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Because look, man, my father was in my life, but he didn't live with us, and, I lived with my mom and my grandmother, for most of my life. And, whenever I'd go out on dates, they like, it didn't matter what female was. It was like, you need to get roses, you need to do this, you need to do that. I mean, just roll out the red carpet. And I used to tell my mother, I'm like, look, Ma, I can't really do this for this type of female, because, I'll end up looking like a simp, man. This is just something that, in so many words, telling my mom, this is just somebody I'm just trying to smash and dash. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's real hard for it just depends. Like I had a father who taught me the game, so he was like, yo, you
Right.
don't want to spend money and do this, that, and the third and look like a simp, while the other dude across town is fucking for free. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I was laced with game like that, but a lot of fellas out here, they don't really have that male mentorship, that male leadership, and that they can really soak up game from. So what say you, like, for guys out there? You got a lot of guys out here, like I said, in this generation, man, that are just simps and who
Right.
really pander for ass and different things like that, man. What do you think is the solution, man? How can we stop this stuff, man?
Right. Well, the thing is, it's just really up to a guy to sort of come to the realization that he doesn't need to do that. And unfortunately, some guys have to get played and have to get, their money taken. They have to get, basically shitted on by a woman to come to that realization. You understand? Because they're not gonna know, and they're not gonna understand it until it actually happens to them. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So for some guys, they just need to, experience that in order for them to really understand it. Because what happens is that since they don't experience it, they still believe it's true. Like, oh, I have to do this for woman. I have to do that. I have to do that in order to get a woman to like me. And then what they need to do is they need to get, in those situations enough times to realize that, damn, well, this stuff isn't working. What's really going on? And then all the stuff that, I've been saying, that you've been saying, that other people have been saying, it's going to sink into their heads. You understand? Because you can tell them till you're blue in the face, and they're not going to really get it until they actually are in the situation and they've had enough, and they're like, okay, this is probably not the way to go. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's terrible. And what's crazy is that what a lot of people don't understand is that it's sort of dangerous for a guy to go down that path and see and look at women this way. And this is why you get guys. So, you hear those stories of, a guy was with a girl and then she rejected him and then he like killed her or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, because he feels like, oh, I bought you flowers. I did this. I did that. I treated you like a queen. And now how could you do this to me? And then now he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he goes crazy. You know what I mean? Because he's like, what's going on? Man. So this is why when we say like, look, stop simping, understand what the game is about, so you don't get yourself in situations where you're so emotionally invested in this, or you go crazy because of some girl said to you, and then it's a wrap. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, bro. It's funny you say that, man. I got a friend, man. He was last year, man. He was dealing with a chick, man. He was really trying to get with a chick, man. She had a boyfriend, actually. He was trying to campaign for her while she had a boyfriend. And I could kind of see, he was kind of game goofy. He's kind of game goofy.
Right.
So, he introduced me to her, and I could see the interaction between the two. It was kind of awkward. I could kind of tell that she wasn't really feeling him, but he didn't know that. Right. And so he was steady, trying to campaign for her, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. So eventually she broke up with her boyfriend, whatever. And then he started to really, campaign hard.
Right.
And she was like, then he sent her this long text message, and she basically came back at him like, because he thought that she was throwing out little vibes. She was flirting, you know how girls do sometimes. But I'm like, dude, man, she just kind of, she's playing you. And so he campaigned hard, man, sent her a long ass text message, man. And she was like, look, man, she was calling him a creep or this, that, and the third.
Right.
And, really played him to the left, man. And when I tell you, man, this dude went off on the deep end, man. This dude, he got to the point where he was almost suicidal, man.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of dudes get like that. You know what I mean? They get like that. And that's also the reason why a lot of guys get like that is because they make women their priority. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, you gotta have something in your life that you're passionate about, that you're interested in doing, besides just women. Like, women shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, like the main thing. You feel what I mean? Like, the main thing is you. You know what I mean? The main thing is your life. So, enjoy it and that's the thing. A lot of these guys, they get so caught up. and they don't have that much experience with women. They look at women as these queens. So it's like they're trying to attain to get that. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, there's an abundance of women. Getting women is not a hard thing. You know what I mean? And that's the thing I try to teach guys. And it's unfortunately, a lot of men don't understand that because, they've never been out there. They don't have any experience. And then, they go down the simping route because that's all they've been taught. And then they go around in a circle. And then, finally, at some point, they know that they got to understand the game. You feel me? So, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, man. I mean, because what was crazy was, man, my dude was like, while she was with her boyfriend, he was talking about this is the one. This is because when he hit me up and told me about her initially, he was like, I found my wife, man. I found the one. And so I was like, okay, my dude, let me meet her, man. You got her engagement ring. I'm thinking, man, he done, they already, planning the wedding and everything, man. And he was like, nah, man, she has a boyfriend. I was like, dude, what the fuck is you talking about, man?
Oh my God.
I mean, he was dead ass serious. He was like, nah, I mean, I've been having dreams, man, and she's been on my mind. And I'm like, dude, you need to snap out of this shit right now. Cause this is dangerous.
Right, for real. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Cause we on that other stuff, man.
It was, man, you know what, man? I wish I could have hit you up, man, when this was going down. I needed to do an intervention so bad with this dude.
Right.
He's still not the same.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's still not the same, man, but he's in denial. So, but anyway, man, to kind of segue into to something else in current events in regards to relationships, man. Like, what do you think about Trick Daddy, man? He came out, man. You got certain black men, who come out and say, who throw shade at black women, throw them up under the bus, and their critique, I can understand the critique. I understand the critique, but
right.
When you use the critique as a way to kind of campaign from women from other cultures, like what's your take on that?
Well, the thing is this is that, there are a lot of, because, a lot of black women, they've been, in society, it's, they've been shitted on, just like black people in general. You understand what I'm saying? So, right. Black women are part of the black community, therefore they're going to be feeling certain things too. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as what Trick Daddy was saying, I remember he was talking about, like, what he said, like the black girls need to tighten up. Because the white girls or the Latino girls are looking fitter and all that other stuff and everything like that.
Right.
Was that what he said? Something like that?
Yeah. In a nutshell.
So the thing is, it's not necessarily what he's saying is. It's not that what he's saying is untrue, because there are a lot of black women who they are overweight, but the reason why is because that in the media. That's what they're showing in the media of, black women overweight. And the reason why they're showing black women overweight in the media is because, white supremacy. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they want to show the black women who are out of shape and prop them up versus sort of like, they don't really showcase too much, because they do showcase certain, black women who are it fit and who look that way, but it's not to the extent where they show, white women or Latino women or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So,
because they never juxtapose a fine black woman next to a Jenny McCarty. You know what I'm saying? Or a fat white woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So that's where that comes from. So there are black women who are overweight, but at the same time, there are a lot of white women who are overweight. Exactly. There's a lot of, Hispanic women that are overweight. But the thing is that the narrative in the media, you feel what I'm saying? Because that's all we're seeing. You feel what I mean? So it's like, and the thing is, I see a lot of overweight black women, but I also see an equally amount of fit black women. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like those women aren't, they're not propped up in that way. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Like, even if you look at all these women who are these booty models and the Smooth magazine chicks, like those are predominantly black women who are fit and they're thick. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's not like, it's a epidemic out there, but at the same time, what he's saying, what Trick Daddy was saying, is not necessarily false. You see what I mean?
Right.
So it's both. You know what I mean? And I think that I think people sort of like when we talk about these subjects, we forget to talk about both sides. You understand? We love to like focus on one side and thinking that's the only one side of the whole equation.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It's kind of like when people talk about the black community and the white supremacy. So you'll have half of the people saying, oh, it's black on black crime. It's because black people are killing each other. It's because of this, is because of that. Then you have the people on the other side who are saying, oh, it's because of white supremacy. It's because, the white man is doing this and doing that. And I'm like, it's both. You feel what I'm saying? So
right.
It's not just one thing. You feel what I mean? It's a whole thing that's, it's all tangled up in one. So yeah, what Trick Daddy was saying was true. But at the same time, it's also, false. You know
right.
So that's really what it is.
Right.
But when you get the narrative from media, that's sort of like propping the Gabrielle Sibiday and all these other type of chicks like that in the media, then it makes it look like, oh, this is the majority of black women. You understand? And exactly. The same way for white women, where they'll prop up, really cute white girls with the fit body, and then they'll be like, oh, well, this is the majority of white women. But also, what you got to understand is that thing sort of also perpetuates how these women will look at themselves and react in society. So this is why you'll have black women who are a good majority of black women who are overweight, who will stay overweight because it seems like it's accepted. Like, oh, well, I'm a black woman and this is how black women look. You feel what I'm saying? And then so that also perpetuates it. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all over the place.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. Because again, sisters do need to tighten up their game.
Right.
But what my thing is this, man, when you have brothers who say stuff like that, they'll say that sisters need to tighten up their game. You do a lot of extra shit, blah, blah, blah. But in the same breath, they'll go and get somebody from another culture whose game isn't tight. You know what I'm saying? Like if you listen to like I don't know if you listen to Tariq's Islam radio show, man.
Oh
like,
yeah.
One of the sisters on there, man. She talks about why she prefers white men over black men, and the things that she doesn't like black men to do, she'll go and get a white dude who does the same exact thing. So, so what's the common denominator? Is it like,
right.
You'll go and get a jobless, broke, dusty white dude, but you wouldn't get a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like the skin color must be the common denominator. You
right.
Know what
That's basically what it is. Because this is a difference. See, this is a difference between, like, let's say if you're a black person or even if you're a white person or whatever, and you get someone outside of your race, there's a difference between dating someone outside of your race because you and them connect, y'all click, y'all have something in common, y'all just like each other, and then that person just happens to be from another race. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That's one thing versus you're blatantly just getting this person because they're white or black. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what certain people do. And then that's a whole nother issue. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So that has an issue with you feeling like there's something better or worse, depending on skin color. You feel what I mean? So
exactly,
that's where that goes. Because me, like myself, I'm married to a white girl. You understand?
Yeah.
And so I never, and literally the only reason why me and her got together was because the spots that I started to go to, because I used to live in Flatbush in Brooklyn, and that was a predominantly black neighborhood. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And then I moved to another part of Brooklyn called Williamsburg. Okay. So in Williamsburg, I had more of a mixture of people. So and what I saw was there was a lot more white people, Asian people, whatever. So a lot of the spots that I went to was a mixture of people. So when I met my wife the first time, it was literally because I was in a spot that was like 80 to 85% white people, and she was there, and we started talking, and that's how it happened. You feel what I'm saying? Right, so it wasn't like I was going out specifically to try to get a white girl, or I dissed all these black girls. You know what I mean? And that's usually the narrative that people think automatically when they're talking to, when they see a person with another person from another race. But you'll start to understand why that person is with that person when you start to hear them talk. So like when you were saying, what that girl was saying, like she's with the white guy, but she's saying, oh, I don't like dusty dudes. But if you're getting with a dusty white dude, then you basically just saying you don't like black guys.
Right,
you feel what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's all that is. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. And she said the dude she was with, the white guy, he was practicing witchcraft and conjuring up devils and shit. I was like, God damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll accept anything, sometimes, right, man, if it's just because of the simple fact that it's not black. You know what I mean? So it's
right,
crazy.
Right.
Yeah, man. So. Yeah, man. So talking about interracial dating and relationships, man. Like, what do you think about Kanye and Kim Kardashian? That whole dynamic, man. Because, man, I wouldn't say that Kim Kardashian is the reason this brother is going off in the deep end. I think he's already been kind of going in that direction. But the brother doesn't really have anybody to really lace him with game. I don't think that Kim Kardashian is street smart enough, and he doesn't have anybody in his corner that's street smart enough to really lace him with game. Because when you hear him speak, man, Kanye is just ranting, he's raving, he's incoherent,
right,
and he doesn't know the rules of the game, man. So and sometimes, man, like a sister, man, she. That's a sister's MO, man. She gonna tell you, when you're slipping and this, that, and the third, man. But it looks like he doesn't have anybody like that in his corner. So, like, what do you think what do you think that, like, as far as interracial relationships and marriages and stuff like that, like, what do you think a brother has to do to stay grounded?
Right. I mean, well, the thing is, if you're, because like myself, right, I got a white wife or whatever, but I've dated, black women, white women, I've dated everybody, you know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing is that what happens with a lot of black dudes or just black people, if they're dating or, white people, some of them forget, that they're black living in a white supremacist structure. You understand?
Right.
So it's not going to change. You understand what I'm saying? Like, or it's not changing based off of the fact that you're with a white person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just number one. You got to understand that even if you're with a white person, you're still black. So this is why I always find it funny when, like, some people will say, well, if you have a white girl or you have a white person, then you can't be for black people. And I'm like, but you're still black. It doesn't matter. So if I break up with my wife, I'm still going to be black, like, regardless, while I'm with her and while I'm not with her. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I think the thing with Kanye, I think he sort of forgot that. Because I remember even one time he said some shit like, he said classism is the new racism or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, that's not it. Because you had your boy Dr. Dre the other day. I think somebody was like breaking in his car or his house or something, and he called the police. And the police came and arrested Dr. Dre. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Dr. Dre is damn near a billionaire. So if you're talking about class or high class, why is he still getting arrested for something he didn't do at his own house, and he's a billionaire? You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the reason why they treating him that way is because he's black. So it's not about, like, class and all that other stuff. But see, that's the thing. Kanye, he got it confused. This is why when he was doing his fashion line and he was on Sway in the morning and he was like, you ain't got the answer, Sway, and all this other craziness.
Right.
He felt like, all these, white folks in these high fashion places, I thought they were my friends. They were smiling at me, shaking my hand, telling me how much they think I'm great. And, I'm chilling with Mark Zuckerberg and talking to him, and he's saying I'm cool. And he's, and I thought he was going to front me some money and do it. And I'm like, yo, you got to understand, at the end of the day, they'll say all that shit, but they're not really in a position to, they're not trying to fuck with you.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't want you, because first of all, a lot of times, white people, they don't like the fact that you being a black man dating a white woman. First of all, that's one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you're already rich, so they're like, I'm not going to give you more money to make you rich. I'm not going to put you up to our level. We still want you to be down there. And truth be told, this is the funny part about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian has way more game than Kanye.
Oh,
you understand?
Yeah.
She has way more game than Kanye because she put herself in position to be with Kanye. Like, so she came up off of Kanye West. You understand? Kanye West didn't really necessarily get a benefit off of being with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian got all the benefits for being with a Kanye West. Exactly. You feel what I'm saying? Exactly. So she put herself in position to, she got with him, got some kids with him, and so she's set. You feel what I'm saying? But Kanye's still sort of confused about the whole thing. Like, Kim Kardashian understood what the game was and knew what she had to do to get herself in position. Even someone like Amber Rose, you could say Amber Rose has more game than Kanye, because she used Kanye to get where she's at now and do all the other stuff, and Wiz Khalifa and all those other people. Right. Kanye, on the other hand, I feel like he's moving backwards, because instead of realizing the type of power that he has, he's sort of ranting and raving all over the place trying to fit in to the white supremacist power structure, instead of saying, yo, let me do what I need to do for myself, my people, to make something happen. He's not thinking that way. You feel what I'm saying? So he's just all over the place, Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he is, man. He is all over the place, man. We need an intervention for that brother.
For real. No, real talk.
Yeah, for he go off on the deep end, man. But yeah, man, like, speaking of couples, man, like, what's your take, like, on power couples, man? And, like, again, going back to, like, entrepreneurship, like, for guys out there, man, like let's say, man, like, okay, it's time to put the side pieces down and friends with benefits and different things like that, man, and you want to settle down with a woman. Like, do you feel like brothers or men should get with women who match their success? Like, if you're a brother and you're a doctor, should you marry a woman and she's a lawyer? Or do you think it's appropriate for a guy, in a general sense, to, if he's a doctor, marry a hood rat? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Right. See, basically, you just got to get a girl who's bringing something to the table, period. So that can be either, let's say you're a doctor, she's a lawyer, she's a doctor, she's a teacher, whatever. She's doing something, she's bringing something to the table. Or even if she's not working, she's bringing something to the table as far as being a housewife, meaning she's knows how to take care of home and family. So that's helping you to be in a loving environment, so that you can get your hustle on even more. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. That's really it. Because as long as the woman that you're with is bringing something to the table and she's not taking away from the table, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Then that's all you got to worry about. You understand? Right. I think you being a doctor or a lawyer or doing this or doing that and trying to find a woman who's doing the same thing, it doesn't necessarily matter, because you don't necessarily need that to actually have a good relationship. But to have a good relationship, you need a woman who, who's cooperative, who's bringing something to the table, who's going to add or benefit you in what you're doing. Because the thing is, a woman is supposed to follow your program anyway. So and your program should consist of you getting with a woman or being with a woman who brings something to the table. Right. So, whatever that specifically is, technically shouldn't matter. All that should matter is that overall she's bringing something to the table. You see what I mean? So you don't want to waste time saying, well, I'm a doctor and I have to make sure she's a doctor. Like, that's stuff that, like, women sort of do that type of stuff where they're confused in this state of mind where they feel like, oh, well, I'm a lawyer and I'm a doctor, so I got to get a man who, is that. But also the reason why they want that is because for women, they want a guy who's either equal to their level or above their level. You understand what I'm saying? In when we look at it objectively, you understand? Right. So that's why they would say something like that. But for a guy, you don't necessarily need that, because as a man, you're supposed to be doing your thing regardless, with or without the help of a woman. But when you have a woman there, she should be helping you by bringing something to the table. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how it got to be,
Yeah, man. Man, because I look at it, man, like, here's my thing. Like, you look at, like, Phaedra and from that Love and Hip Hop show, whatever it's called, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know what show she's on, but Phaedra Parks or whatever. And she married that Apollo guy. He was straight out of prison. She's a lawyer, a high-profile entertainment lawyer, and she marries a dude straight up out of prison. And so it wasn't long before the brother started breaking bad and got back to, his, criminal ways. and she was looking, she's assed out. Well, I mean, she's not assed out, but she got kids now with him, and he's not there. So, I just think, man, like sometimes, man, like it's not just about the career or the money. Saying that a doctor and a lawyer should be with each other, a doctor and doctor, or
Right.
somebody, an entertainer, but just from being able to understand where that person is coming from, the magnitude of doing something illegal or doing something that may be detrimental to the family.
Right,
I think that
right.
a lot of people, man, from maybe lower socioeconomic background, a lot of them don't really understand. Like some are cooperative, some are able to, they're up to task, but a lot of people, they don't really understand the ins and out of maintaining a relationship like that.
Right. Well, also, I think people just got to understand that, when you're dealing with someone, you want to make sure that the person you're dealing with, you got to see their character. You understand? Because, like, let's say that guy came out of jail and he's like, look, I'm, and you see that he's actually doing something. He's actually not on no BS.
Right.
And then that's cool because he's actually trying to bring something to the table and all other stuff. But, when you see someone and they on some BS and you think, oh, well, I'll still get with them and they'll change later and I could change them and save them and all that other stuff, then you're putting yourself in a position to, have them bring you down.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, right. You always got to look at people that you're dealing with and say, is this person going to benefit me or are they going to, take from me? You understand? It's gonna, and that's really, it's really that simple. And you can see that a lot of times, you get a vibe from somebody. There's times where I went on dates, like first dates with women, that I probably met online or something like that. And it was just like, I just felt this vibe like, yeah, this girl, she's kind of weird. I don't think I'll be messing with her too long. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You just get that vibe. So you're like, I ain't messing with that,
Yeah, man. I understand, man, because, a lot of people, especially online, man, a lot of people, fake the funk, man. They're one person online. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You look through their profile, whatever, and
right.
And then this is just for anybody, man. And then you meet them and then you start talking to them, man, and you like, oh man, this is a basket case, man.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, yeah, it's definitely relevant, man. So, but yeah, man, it's been good chopping up game with you, man. Everybody, man, really needs to go. Where can we get information on, your programs and everything like that?
Yeah, definitely. You guys can go to Mr Locario.com. That's MRLOCARIO.com. And when you go in there, you can get my free ebook for the guys is the Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men. And for the ladies, you can get my audio program, 7 Highly Effective Steps to Finding and Keeping a Man. And also you can go to Bad Boy Membership, where you can join my membership program. That's for the guys, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials. Mm-hmm. You get that every month. And also make sure you go to undeniablegame.com. That's where you can get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which teaches you 7 easy ways on how to really attract beautiful women. So make sure you go there and get that.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely, man. It's like, man, I'm listening to a Tariq show, man.
Yeah, shout out to Tariq, man. Because let me tell you something, man. Like, because if you listen to Tariq Nasheed's show and you hear my advertisements, all the time, whatever, and I'm gonna tell you, I've tried to send my stuff to certain other like companies. Like, for example, you heard of Tom Likas?
No, I never heard of him. Who is he?
So Tom Likas, he has a radio show and he talks about like relationships and men and all that other stuff. This is white dude or whatever. So I sent my stuff to him, to his peoples, and then they were like, yeah, we'll put your ad on. And then I was like, all right, cool. So I'm trying to set the shit up, and they just kept dodging me. They weren't getting back to me. I was like, look, I got the money. Let's do this. I'm trying to pay you to put this advertisement on. And they just was like, ignore me. So, shout out to Tariq, because Tariq actually was like, I sent him the stuff. He puts it up. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like that support, and especially, because the thing is, I grew up listening to Tariq Nasheed and reading his books. Like I think when I was like 18 or 19 is when I read The Art of Mackin.
Right.
And I was like, yo, this book is crazy. I was like, this shit like changed my life and my perspective on dealing with women.
Right.
So it's like, you know, that up there, and then also seeing another black man, you know what I'm saying,
right.
doing, you know, writing books, doing all the other stuff. So I definitely, you know, tip my hat to Tariq Nasheed. I appreciate him, because without Tariq Nasheed, there would be no Mr Locario, period.
Yeah,
so that's why I got to definitely shout out him. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Paying homage, man. Man. And,
definitely.
And that's what a lot of people really need to understand, man. Like, you know, the young guys coming up, man. Like, you know, you gotta give them a shot, man. You gotta, you gotta reciprocate, man, because, man, you know, he could have easily been like, yo, you know, you doing the same thing I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna cut into my Art of Mackin sales, but he was like, it was no hater shit, man, and everybody gets to eat like that.
Hell yeah, Tariq is a cool dude, man. Real talk.
Yes, indeed, man. But yeah, man, we want to thank you for coming on the show, man.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, indeed. That was the Mr. Locario episode, and that was a definitely a major key episode, man, talking about relationships, man, and we want to really thank him for coming on to the show. But again, if you aren't following the Hustleology Show on SoundCloud, do so. Also, subscribe to the Hustleology Show on iTunes. Rate me 5 stars, and we would be greatly appreciative. And don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms at I am Musa Ali. That's I am MUSAALI. And until the next episode, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Peace.